Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, what's up? My name is vianney.strick. Thank you so much for being here. So today I wanted to do a dupes video, and I wanted to show you guys what it looks like on my face. Believe it or not, this face is half high-end and half drugstore. There's only two products that I didn't have a dupe for, but let me know in the comments down below. Definitely pause this video and comment down below which side you think is high-end and which one you think is drugstore. I really feel like these are awesome dupes, and some of these dupes I actually like better than the high-end, so I just wanted to share it with you guys. And yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to join my squad. Let's get into the video. Okay guys, so if you thought that this side was the drugstore side, then you are correct. Guys, is this not just so similar? It's so funny because I actually, when I finished this look, I went to go ask my brother and his girlfriend, like, which side is high-end and which one's drugstore, and they both thought this was high-end, which made me so excited. The way I did it is I showed you guys the application, so I'm going to show you guys the products, the swatches, and then the application. So let's talk about some brow products. Now, I do want to give a little bit of a disclaimer. The brow products that I have are dupes, but they're different shades, so don't worry about that. I just want to show you guys the formula and I do have these two. This is definitely my favorite brow pencil at the drugstore at the moment, and this is the Maybelline Total Temptation Brow Definer, and I do have the shade medium brown. And this is the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil, and I do have the shade 4.5. I definitely feel like for eyebrow definers, like the pencils are a little bit thicker. These two are the closest in shape. It's like a little diamond, and again, the formula on both are really, really beautiful. So the Maybelline Total Temptation is at the top and the Benefit one is at the bottom. Again, they are different shades. I will say that the Benefit one is a little bit drier of formula than the Maybelline one, so it really just depends on what you like, but as you guys can see, it really just performs almost identical on the brows. And at the end of the day, like I said, obviously the shade is off, but my brows do look the same, and these drugstore pencils definitely last just as long as the Benefit ones. I do have the CoverGirl Ultrafine Brow Pencil, and this I have in the shade Rich Brown, and then I have the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in the shade 4.5. By the way, the CoverGirl one did have a spoolie on the back, but I broke it, so just letting you know, they both come with a spoolie. These do the same for me. These brow pencils, like, they're both ultra fine. These are really good for defining your brows if you want a more natural look, or the way I use it, it went in the front of the brow just to give a little bit of hair strokes and to define my brows. See how I told you guys they're definitely different shades? The top one is CoverGirl and the bottom one is Benefit. And I don't know, I kind of like the CoverGirl one a little bit better, just because, I don't know if you guys can tell in the swatch, but this one is a little bit more waxier. It's not like super waxy, but I feel like this is like the perfect combination of waxiness and pigment. I do love this brow pencil from Benefit, but I do have to say this one, you can kind of go overboard a little bit quicker than with the CoverGirl one, because this one is a little bit more pigmented. So personally for me, when I'm drawing in hairs, I don't want them to be that pigmented. With that being said, I do love both of these, but personally, I don't even use pencils anymore. I just use pomades. That's why I wouldn't repurchase this, but I would repurchase their pomade. I will say if my eyebrows do look a little bit darker now, is because I did set them both with powder. I use the Foolproof Brow Powder from Benefit. When it comes to eyebrows, in my opinion, I think you should, if you want to like have a good eyebrow kit, I think you should spend the money on the powder, not the pencil. I think that the drugstore has definitely made a lot of pencils that are definite dupes, but I still haven't found a powder as good as the Benefit one or as the Anastasia one. I'm still trying to figure out which one I like more, but these powders are so good. I've literally been using this for like almost over a year, and you can't really even see an indentation. There's something about these brow powders, I don't know how they're pressed or how the formula is, but they're not powdery at all, and they're super pigmented, and they last forever. So the two primers that I want to show you guys today are these two right here. I have the CoverGirl Vitalist Go Glow Luminizing Lotion in the shade 1 Daybreak. And I also have the Laura Mercier Foundation Primer in Radiance. Both of these are awesome, radiant, glowy, dewy primers. So if you're into that, you're gonna love both of these. And I really do like both, but I actually kind of like the CoverGirl one a little bit better because it's a little bit thicker and a little bit more gel-like, and it provides, in my opinion, it provides more hydration than this one, but they both provide like the same look on bare skin and under foundation. You get the baby wipes ready because I'm about to do a lot of swatches on my hand. So this is what they look like. As you can see, maybe the Laura Mercier at the bottom is a little bit more like opalescent, but they have very similar tints. I am blending out both sides, and like I said, the CoverGirl one is just, it has a little bit more of a gel-like consistency. So again, it's a little bit thicker, but it's not heavy. It just feels nicer and it feels more hydrating. Like I said, I feel like that provides a nicer primed face because I feel like the gel-like might even smooth a little bit. But as you guys can see, they both give the same glowy finish for a fraction of the price, and it also looks the same under foundation. I did use the CoverGirl truBLEND Matte Made Foundation on my whole face so I could show you guys how both of these look the exact same under the foundation. It's a fraction of the price. Granted, this has a little bit less product. Let's see, it's 15 millimeters compared to 30, but still you could buy 2 of these and it would still be cheaper than this and you would have more product. Okay, so next I do have 2 concealers that remind me so much of each other. I definitely think the e.l.f. Camo Concealer is very similar to the Tarte Shape Tape. That's like another dupe, but the shades that I have are very different. So I wanted to show you guys another dupe that I have that are more similar in shade and show you guys the finish. So it is these guys right here. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Long Wearing Concealer in the shade 130 Light Beige. And of course, this is the Born This Way Multi-Use Concealer. And I also have the shade Golden Beige. I will say the Milani one is a little bit lighter, so it will look a little bit different once I apply it, and the applicators are also different, but we're talking about the formula here. Packaging wise though, I think it was pretty obvious that Milani was trying to dupe this, and I think it worked. This concealer is really nice. I mean, I love this concealer, but you know what? If you really wanted to try this out and you didn't have the budget, you should definitely try this out. Obviously, there's a lot less product, but it is a fraction of the price. I love this formula because it's not super thick or super light. It's just like a very normal formula. Like I said, nothing too much, and it blends out like a dream, and it gives you medium to full coverage. You can use a little bit less for a more natural look, or you can use 1 or 2 layers for a full coverage glam look, but they both blend out so beautiful. They're both a little bit hydrating. They're not super dewy or matte. They're definitely a natural finish, and they look beautiful all day long, and they also both look really beautiful when you set them with powder. So I definitely think it's a no-brainer. If you've been eyeing this and you just don't want to spend the money, definitely try the Milani concealer. As you guys can see, the price difference is insane, and my under eyes look the same, don't they? By the way, as you guys can see in the demo, I am using different brushes and different sponges just to do everything. So you guys don't worry, don't think that I'm like mixing products or anything like that. I'm definitely using everything differently. Let's talk about some setting powder. And like I said in the intro, some of these products I actually prefer than the high-end one, but they do remind me a lot of each other. And this brings us to powder. You guys know, if you follow me, like this is my ride or die powder. That's why it looks so janky, but this is the Maybelline Fit Me powder, the loose version, and this is the Fair Light shade. And I do compare it to the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I think these are so similar. Personally, I don't really like using very like HD, very fine powder under my eyes. Sometimes I feel like it makes my concealer look a little bit darker, but these powders I love to set under my eyes and just anywhere else that I need to, because they have a little bit of grit. So obviously the Maybelline one is colored, but you know, even though this Laura Mercier is translucent, it does have kind of a yellow tint. They look so similar. They're both a little bit gritty. And by that, I just mean it's not super fine powder, which is nice. I think it actually just looks better under the eyes. They both set your under eyes so beautifully. Definitely feel like the Laura Mercier is a little bit more drying than the Maybelline, but I still like both of them. And as you guys can see, I set my concealer with both powders. This is Maybelline and this is Laura Mercier, and they look exactly the same. You guys can tell, like, look at how much is in this Laura Mercier and look how much I have in this one. Like, you guys can tell that I love my Maybelline one, and I don't know why, I just love this one better. Maybe it might be the shade, but I just can't get enough of this powder. So if you've been wanting to try something very similar to Laura Mercier, definitely give this a go. And also, they do have different shades. Like I said, I like Fair Light because it's the most like natural shade, but if you are darker or lighter than me, they do have other shades for you, and they're both really good for baking. Like, this is a really good powder for baking if you want that very sharp line. I personally don't bake under my eyes, I do bake under my contour, and they're both really, really good. Okay, now the next product that I have for you guys is a contour kit. I feel like a lot of you guys might know about this, but I felt like just throwing it in just in case you didn't know. And it is these guys right here. So this one is a Kokie Professional Powder Contour Palette, and this is what it looks like. Obviously, it looks exactly like the Kat Von D Shade and Light, and it also has a mirror. Again, we have the Kat Von D Shade and Light. This packaging is definitely a lot heavier and nicer, but I figured I would just tell you guys that. But as you guys can see, I mean, these products were definitely made to be duped. These are definitely dupes. The only difference is a little bit of the formula is that the Kokie Cosmetics formula is a little bit more fine. It's maybe like the powder isn't as, I guess, as thicker. It's just finer, so it's not as crazy pigmented, but it's still like enough pigment. And then I also noticed that the Kokie one is just a little bit cooler toned, but by a smidge. I don't know if you guys can tell that the Kokie one up here is like a little bit cooler tone, like literally barely almost nothing. So this row down is Kokie, and then the other one is Kat Von D. So as you guys can see, this Kat Von D shade is a little bit warmer. And yeah, but I mean, really look at that. They look so similar. Like I said, see how the Kat Von D one came with a lot more pigment than the Kokie Cosmetics. On the face, I think it looks the same, and there's so many more contours at the drugstore that as much as I do love this Kat Von D one, I don't think I will ever repurchase it just because there's so much at the drugstore. So if you definitely want to find something exactly like this and it looks like it, same packaging, almost the same formula, same tones, definitely try this out. Kokie Cosmetics is really, really nice. I will say that when I applied the Kat Von D side, I accidentally dipped into the darkest shade. So I did have a little bit of a problem. So, you know, one side might look a little bit darker, but that's just because I accidentally dipped in the wrong shade. But I did try to blend it out and try to make it look good. And as you guys can see, I am using the banana shades on both just to kind of cut my contour and make it a little bit more sharp, and they both look beautiful and they look the same, guys. Okay, so now let's talk about my two favorite bronzers, and they happen to be like formula dupes. So my favorite bronzer ever is this guy right here. This is the Becca Sunlit Bronzer in Ipinema Sun. I will give it to Becca. They make some amazing powders. What I love about this is not only the shade, but the formula is so nice and different. It's like not powdery at all. The way they pressed it kind of reminds me of the way they press like eyeshadow powders. It's like not crumbly or powdery, but it's very pigmented but not patchy at all. Like, I will give it a whirl and see how pigmented it is. And the dupe that I found for it looks very similar to this, and it is the Butter Bronzer. Now granted, they're not the same shade, but the formula is on point. You guys can always get different shades. It's so crazy because they even look the same, like the packaging, not the packaging, but like the imprint. What I love about the Butter Bronzer, again, is just the formula. It's like pigmented, but not too much, and the way it's pressed, it doesn't come off too strong on the brush. I will say that the Butter Bronzer is a little bit more powdery than the Becca one, but like for the difference of the price, I mean, you definitely just need to get the butter bronzer. They're both amazing, so if you do love this one, the sunlit bronzers, and you just don't want to spend the money on it, definitely try the butter bronzer because this is the closest formula that I found to each other, and they both happen to be my favorites. All of this looks the same. So I didn't have a blush to show you guys because I don't really buy high-end blushes anyways, because there's just, I don't feel like I need to. There's so many good ones at the drugstore, but I do have a very exciting highlight to show you. I do have a highlighter dupes video where it's strictly highlights. I can put it up here. And I did tell you guys that a dupe for the Becca Cosmetics Opal was this Kylie Jenner loose highlighter, or Kylie Cosmetics, and this is in the shade Fiji. But even though they are the same shade, obviously the formula is different because this is loose and it's not like a drugstore price. But I wanted to tell you guys that I found an even cheaper drugstore dupe that's literally the same shade and it's pressed. It's just, this is perfect. I'm really excited to show you guys this dupe. So my full size of Opal is actually broken, so I'm going to be using the Becca Cosmetics Après Ski palette that has Opal in here, and I'm just gonna swatch it and show you guys on my hand. And guess what the dupe is? The dupe, CoverGirl Full Spectrum Sculpt Expert Versatile Cheek Palette, and I have it in the shade Rose Rush. Now obviously this is a palette, but the shade that is a dupe for Opal is this one. If you haven't tried these palettes from CoverGirl, they're amazing. The highlights are blinding. This is a blush that I don't really care for because it's very, very shiny, but these two highlighters are unreal. The CoverGirl one is just a little bit more warm tone, but on the face, you guys are gonna see that it looks the same. So here are the swatches. Again, the top is Opal and the bottom one is the CoverGirl one. Guys, are these not like almost spot on? Like I said, maybe this one has a little bit of a warmer base, but can you even tell? Maybe I'm just tripping, but look at that. I will say that this formula is just a little bit drier, but it's actually more blinding. So guys, it honestly looks the same upon application. I did put it on my cheekbones and on my forehead and under my brows, and I'm just very, very impressed with this formula from CoverGirl because this is probably one of my favorite ones at the drugstore, and it's so versatile because it does have different shades. You know, Becca highlighters are not the cheapest. I'm just really happy that I could find a dupe for that very cult favorite shade, and it's actually one of my favorite shades as well. Opal just looks good on everyone. I love it. By the way, this is how much CoverGirl little palette costs. That you get 3 highlighters in, and this is how much just one full size of Opal, I forgot the word. What's the word? How much it costs. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? Okay, so next let's talk about something very exciting because I found a high-end mascara that I fell in love with, and I was so mad because I don't want to pay $20 for a mascara. But then I found a dupe that I like better. So here I have my 2 favorite mascaras, but let's be honest, this one's my favorite now because I like it better and it's so much cheaper, but they're both amazing. They're both awesome. They're the same thing. But this one, again, a little bit better. So this is the L'Oreal Ultimate Mascara, and this is the one that has a little bendy wand, so that way you can bend it to give you more volume. Personally, I don't care for the bend because I just don't care. I try it and it just feels kind of awkward. I don't think it makes it look any better or worse, but I just love this mascara. And then over on the high-end side, I do have the Benefit Bad Gal Bang Mascara. These have such similar wands, but the one thing that kind of annoyed me about the Benefit one is that this is literally so bendy. Like the wand is literally so flexible, and that kind of drove me nuts. And obviously this mascara has completely different packaging because the wand's actually very short, but it's not like as bendy, which I love. They're both rubber wands. Obviously they're not like the exact same, but they're like similar enough to give you the exact same effect. And what is really, really so similar to me is the formula. They're both very wet formulas, so I do sometimes get it on my eyelid, but it's like so worth it because it's so good. So since it's so wet, it definitely puts a lot of product on your lashes. You could literally go for like one layer only, but I always like to do two. But also the formula, I feel like it's a little bit kind of like gel-like, so it definitely like builds on your lashes really beautifully. And both of these combs, it's just the perfect mixture of length and volume. I don't feel like my lashes are spidery, and I think they look super long and voluminous and beautiful. And both of these mascaras give me the exact same result, again, for a fraction of the price. Like, this is, I'm just so happy because I fell in love with this and I was like, dang it, now I'm gonna have to buy a $20 mascara. And then the drugstore came through for me. As always, drugstore has just such good mascaras. So if you want lashes like these, or if you love this, definitely try this out. You're not gonna regret it. Now we're down to the last product, and this is also another product that I actually prefer the drugstore version of it. So first, let me tell you the high end. This literally has like almost nothing written on it anymore because I love it, as you guys can see. But this is the Ciate Dewy Spritz, and I love it because it gives my skin a very healthy glow. But I kind of stopped using it when I found this. This is the L'Oreal Lumi Shake and Glow Mist. So here are both right here. As you guys can see, I've used a lot of the L'Oreal one, and I just got it not too long ago, probably like a month and a half ago. They both give you the same result, but this just happens to be in way better packaging. The L'Oreal one definitely gives a very smooth, awesome, beautiful spritz, and the Ciate one actually kind of just goes at your face. It kind of just like spits on your face, and it actually sometimes creates little dots because it's just like too much product at once. And it actually, this time around, kind of sucked. It created a little bit of patchiness in my contour, which really kind of pissed me off. So, you know, it doesn't always do that, but sometimes you do have to blend out the little circles that it does because the sprayer is just not good. And the L'Oreal sprayer, it's literally like the most perfect sprayer. And again, same result, a fraction of the price. Guys, if you're into dewy spritz, you don't need to go to Sephora for that. You can just try this one. Wow, I feel like I've been filming for ages. Okay guys, and that is it. That is the end of the video. This is the full face, and I just love that I can go out in this face because it doesn't look any different. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you guys found some dupes that you haven't heard of. Definitely let me know down below what your favorite dupes are so that everyone in the comments can just share their dupes. I would love to know, and definitely let me know what your favorite dupe of this video was. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.